Hey YouTube. So I just got off work and I've been wanting to make this video for a while. So now that I have the time to do so, I'm just gonna go ahead and make it. Yeah, I decided to do Hypnobabies when I was about 4 months pregnant, but I didn't actually get the guide because I'm a bit of a procrastinator until I was about 7 months, I believe. At that point, I found a mom on Craigslist that was selling it, and I bought it from her. She said when she gave it to me that it actually helped her, that it did not completely eliminate all discomfort for her, but it did. She had less anxiety during labor. She felt more prepared to deal with labor, and she felt more in control of the experience. So overall, it did help her. With that in mind, and I saw online there were some moms on YouTube that seemed to be completely hypnotized and were not feeling any discomfort, it seemed like. So I was very curious, especially after I met someone in person who told me that it had helped. So I went ahead and I started following the plan, which is you get a book and you get 5 CDs. So I started listening to some of the tracks, and eventually I think I only made it through like week 4. One CD is about 35-40 minutes long. I listened to one CD a day, which was about 40 minutes, and then I read the chapter again for that week, which took me about another 30 minutes. So altogether it was about an hour of work a day. It was a little bit difficult to try to take time out to work on it for that long. I did feel really discouraged at first because I kept falling asleep. So whenever I would get, deep into hypnosis, into the hypnosis session. So I'd say about 15 minutes into the 40-minute session, I would fall asleep every time. Like every time I would wake up at the end of the CD. Like there's a part at the end of the CD where they tell you to, come back to consciousness. And I would wake up out of the blue, and it was really frustrating at first because I'm like, how am I going to learn anything? I don't even know what's on the CD because I keep falling asleep, and I was really sleep deprived at the time because I was waking up really early in the morning. My son was having night terrors or whatever, so I was up with him a lot at night. So I was lacking in the sleep department. So whenever I did this deep relaxation hypnosis, I fell asleep after about 10 to 15 minutes. With that being said, I think I only made it through maybe 2 or 3 sessions overall that I did not fall asleep during. So I did not know how confident I felt about how I was going to perform during labor, or if it was going to help me. I can say that it is an individualized experience. So what I mean by saying that is, it's left up to you to interpret how you want to experience it with the CDs. They tell you to imagine a safe place, a place that you feel completely protected, a place that you feel, for me, feeling detached from reality. So for me, I imagined, sitting at the bottom of a swimming pool, or in the ocean, underwater. Being underwater, everything's very muted. I felt numb, detached, and overall I could feel a deep feeling of hypnosis when I imagined being underwater. So that's what I stuck with. And so my husband did not end up doing the reading the partner scripts, so I ended up doing it alone. Overall, because I stopped doing the scripts when I was about 8 months pregnant, I started up doing them 2 weeks before my daughter was born. So I was about 39 weeks when I started again, and I was starting from week 1 because I couldn't remember much of anything. So I was pretty much speeding through everything, and just doing a lot of listening to the tracks, a lot of reading the book. I read Ina May's Guide to Childbirth, which was a very helpful book. Very helpful, and actually helped me during labor. That's a book with stories of how natural childbirth works for a lot of people, what helps people during natural childbirth, and I found that it really helped me through, because when I was in labor, I recognized some of the signs from the book that I read. So I felt more confident in like my body. I knew what my body was doing and that my body was capable. So with all that being said, the day that I actually went into labor, I went into labor at about 4 a.m. So I woke up having contractions. I tried to stay in bed to see if it was just Braxton Hicks, but it was pretty painful. I told my husband I was going to go to the living room. I went to the living room. I believe I put on my birthing day CD. It talks you through relaxation, which is what I think the entire key of it was: relaxing your body, not tensing. So I planned to be on the birthing ball because it seemed like that would be the most comfortable place to be, but actually it turned out not to work out for me. That position was extremely uncomfortable. The pressure waves were very intense, and at that point painful, being on the birthing ball. So I ended up strangely on my back on the sofa with my knees pulled up, and I just relaxed my body, and I was in a semi-trance, kind of sort of almost sleeping for about a few hours. So until about 6:30, I was just there listening to the CDs, not feeling much, feeling very detached, imagining I was in my safe place. I had my phone out with a labor tracking app. I can't remember which one right now, but I will put it in the box below. I was pressing the button to track when my contractions were starting and ending. I feel comfortable, just because of the fact that we're now at 5 minutes apart. I was gonna go ahead and tell my husband to get ready, drop my son off at our neighbor's house, and we were gonna go to the hospital. So when I stood up and I took off my headset, my next contraction hit me, and it was the most intense pain that I couldn't even describe to you. It was over the top intense, and it really struck me how much relaxing and trusting in my body and allowing the process to happen helped the process. I'm not sure if it was hypnosis or if it was the relaxation of my body that allowed my labor to be so comfortable for me. Of course, there was pressure, and I'm not saying pressure because it's what they say in Hypnobabies. It really just felt like a gentle, slightly uncomfortable pressure, but it wasn't anything painful at all. And I was trying to wait until I got really close to the end of my labor to go into the hospital because I didn't want too many interventions. And I waited so late that ultimately, by the time I got in the car, I was ready to push. So we went to the closest hospital near us, which took us about 15 minutes to get there. They didn't really believe that I was about to have the baby anytime soon. They checked me out in the ER. They said, "You're fine. We'll send you up to labor and delivery." I went up to labor and delivery, and the lady that was pushing me in the wheelchair kept commenting, "Wow, your contractions are really right on top of each other," because they were at that point. They were back to back. And I could feel that a strong urge to push, which I kept telling them, but they were like, "You're too calm. You're not crying, you're not panicking, you're not close to having a baby, you're fine." So they left me in triage, at which point, I told my husband, this baby is about to come. So my husband went to go grab the nurse, and when the nurse came back, I was already pushing the baby out, and she came out and assisted with the rest of the birth in the triage room. In the triage bathroom, actually. And that's how my daughter was born. I know this video is getting kind of long, and I'm going to have to go back and edit some of this out. But overall, it was very helpful. The one thing I would say, invest in it. It is a good investment. If you can find a mom that already has it, that wants to sell hers, I would strongly suggest you do that. I've heard if you call Hypnobabies that might have used ones. I'm not sure how true that is. I saw it online somewhere. My set you could probably have for free if you want to message me for it. I think it's a good investment. I think not only did it introduce me to meditation, So now I do guided meditation separate from Hypnobabies, which I think is amazing. Hypnosis and meditation are really very closely intertwined. Hypnosis is clearing your mind and learning a new idea. Meditation is literally just clearing your mind, and they're both very, very similar, very relaxing. And I think it's a skill that everyone should learn. It can't hurt you, you know. And with Hypnobabies, the best thing is, overall, if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you, and you know, no harm done. But if it does work for you, I feel that it's invaluable to have a birth experience that you can look back on and feel that you were in charge of, feel that you were empowered by, because I definitely felt empowered by my birthing. I was adjusting my body so that at a certain point, the contractions were no longer painful, because I understood that they were there to help push my baby out, and I was working with them to get the baby out instead of tensing up or fighting against it, which would only intensify it and make it very painful. So at the end of the day, you want to work with your body to help get your baby out. Don't tense up. If a position is uncomfortable to you, don't go to that position. I found that the bed was uncomfortable for me. You just have to find what works for you. That's all I have. If you have any questions, please leave them below. If you have any comments or if you've used it, then let me know how it works for you. That would be awesome. But that's all I have for you, ladies. So bye, YouTube.